Tonight we continue our series on coin grading for beginners, and tonight we are going to talk about the Walking Liberty half dollar. Stick around. So what you're looking at here is a couple of Walking Liberty half dollars out of my personal collection, one of which, this 1947, came from my good friend Fish, famous YouTuber, aka Bionic Fishy Fish, and he sent this to me, and this 42 is in a little rougher shape, you can see, but at the end of this video I'm going to grade this 1947 based on these standards that I'm sharing with you, and you tell me if you agree, because this is a coin I've actually been considering sending off for certification. I like it that much, and that it came from Fish is just would be a pretty cool thing too. So let's get into this, guys, because when it comes to the Walking Liberty half dollar, it's all about the details, details, details. The path one must follow and master to successfully grade Walking Liberty half dollars is laden with details, any one of which, if missed, could be costly. The good news is that in comparison to many other series, the Walking Liberty half dollar is considered not that difficult to grade. It has a diameter of 30.61 millimeters or 1.21 inches, and this half dollar presents a large enough canvas to capture the bold and intricate design elements. Because the design is chock full of details, it is suggested that before embarking on your grading journey, it would be helpful to study enlarged images of both the obverse and the reverse of high-grade, fully struck Walking Liberty half dollars. Such study will help to fix your mind's eye on what the coin is supposed to be. Now keep the images handy to refresh your memory from time to time. Now, although Adolf A. Weinmann's design has been hailed as one of the greatest of all time, the U.S. Mint encountered problems from the beginning in bringing out all the details in a full strike. Attempts to modify the obverse were taken in 1918, 1937, and 1938. However, they were not entirely successful. Thus, it should not be surprising that strike is a key characteristic and must be kept in mind when grading Walking Liberty half dollars. The primary areas to check on the obverse are Liberty's head, left hand, and the lines in the skirt. In the Complete Guide to Walking Liberty half dollars, Bruce Fox relates that for a Walking Liberty half dollar to qualify as having a full head, the hair between Liberty's face and bonnet must be rounded and not flat. Also, he notes that there must be separation or definition in Liberty's forehead and cheek areas, her ear, her hair below the bonnet, and above her eye and below her ear. When inspecting Liberty's left hand, at her side for evidence of a full strike, Fox specifies that the hand must be rounded and the thumb and finger split into an obvious V. He observes that branches of laurel and oak Liberty is holding should be split at the end of the thumb as well as between the thumb and forefinger. Also, on a full strike, the separation of the upper finger can be seen near the knuckles. Fox advises that lines in Liberty's skirt are generally weak for coins struck from 1916 through 1921 and should be ignored for grading purposes. He notes that the lines in the skirt directly above the foot are generally visible in the early issues. Full strike designation on the Walking Liberty half dollars constitutes visible skirt lines near the foot and also slightly above the knee. On the reverse, there is one critical area of the eagle's breast that cannot be flat, or missing feathers, and still merit a full strike. Both Fox and Anthony Swiatek in the Walking Liberty half dollar cite specialist James Bennett Pryor's method for pinpointing the location. Draw an imaginary line from the left side of the E in the state legend at the top of the coins to the second L in dollar at the bottom legend. Next, draw another line from the second S in states to the H in half at the bottom of the legend. The area below the intersection of the two imaginary lines is a location on the eagle's breast that should be closely inspected for strike. Luster is created on the top of the coin's surface from the microscopic flow lines as the metal flows to fill the die in the striking process. The brilliance of the luster on the surface is created by the way the metal reflects light. Specialists note that surfaces on the first strike 2 years, 1916 and 1917, exhibit a grainy, matte-like finish. Later years exhibit more luster, hence a brighter shine. All right, let's take a look at the heat map for the Walking Liberty half dollar. What you'll see is that in the red, that is considered the worst area for wear. Orange is bad, yellow is average, and green is better. Blue, of course, is best. A mark in the red area is about 8 times more serious than if the same mark was in the green area. The worst place on the obverse for a mark or scratch is on Liberty's head, the full length of her body to the hem of the skirt, covering her left leg, the sun, and the date. On the reverse, the worst place for scratches and marks are on the eagle's head and breast feathers and on the mint mark. Wear is detected first on the high points of the coin's design, which are designated here in the red. On the obverse of the Walking Liberty half dollar, high points are Liberty's left breast and the full length of her body, immediately below her breast to the hem of her skirt. Liberty's left hand holding the laurel and oak branches is included within the design high points. On the reverse, the high points are the eagle's breast and the top edge of its left wing. Okay, so we're grading this coin, and the first thing that I want to do here is look for signs of circulation. And we know on the obverse that those signs are going to be most apparent in the head, the left breast, and running down the left leg. Now, there does seem to be a bit of contact mark there on the left breast, so let's kind of light that up a little bit. I think that could be toning as well. So let's just give a little bit of light and see if we can discern. So we can see under the light, with the benefit of like the shading coming off from the side, there is a fair bit of contact in those areas. But the question is it where? Is it a sign of circulation? That's the difficult thing to figure out here. To me, I'm going to say that we are probably in the mint state here. I don't think that that is circulated where, but let's look at the reverse here. We know that the high points are the head and the breast feathers there. Remember that intersection where we're looking for signs of strike. Now, this being a 1947, this should have a better strike, and we see that it certainly does have a better strike. So given that, those breast feathers are in really nice shape, I would say that there are no signs of circulation in the head or the breast feathers. So I think I can safely conclude here that this is a mint state coin. So the question is, where in the mint state does this coin fall? Well, let's talk about it. An MS-60 should be an uncirculated coin with no traces of wear. It may lack full mint luster. Well, there is no lack of luster here. Also, it may be spotted, dull, or heavily toned. We do have the spot on the breast, but that is really, I think that is the only spot that I can discern here. A few small spots, it may be weak struck, may have noticeable or partial hairline scratches throughout, and it has poor eye appeal. So I don't think this qualifies as an MS60 because I think it may actually be a little bit better than that. So what is MS61? MS61 says that it's uncirculated with no traces of wear. It may have a few heavy or many light contact marks in prime or secondary focal areas. Well, let's put the light back on here again. My apologies for the shakiness here, but you can see that there is a fair amount of contact marking, especially in those high points from the breast down the leg and even on the head. So there is a fair amount of contact mark there. It may contain noticeable patches or continuous hairline scratches on surface of the coin, and the luster may be original or impaired. Eye appeal is generally unattractive. So here's the thing, is like eye appeal is kind of in the eye of the beholder, but to me this has fantastic eye appeal, so I can't grade it an MS61. So what about MS62? What do we think MS62 is? Well, let's just take a look here. MS62 says that it may have distracting contact marks in the prime and secondary focal areas. We know that it does. It may have a few scattered or small patches or hairline scratches, and it may exhibit original or impaired luster. It says eye appeal here is acceptable. So I think we're getting closer. I really think that we're getting closer on this one with an MS62 because it says eye appeal is acceptable. If this is not acceptable eye appeal, guys, I don't know what is. By the way, these scratches here are on the flip. Those are not on the coin. So that's important to note. MS63 says that it may contain distracting contact marks in prime focal areas and a few scattered hairline scratches. Overall appearance is attractive. It is attractive, okay? Again, I think we're in the pickle barrel there. And MS64 says, attractive uncirculated coin containing average to full mint luster. It may have light scattered contact marks, a few in prime focal areas. It may have a few small scattered hairline scratches. Overall eye appeal is pleasing. Now, let's just take a look here at these contact marks in the leg and in the breast area. And just see, do we consider that light scattered contact marks? Well, they're certainly not gouges. And keep in mind, there is the V in the hand, all right? The head, let's just talk about the head for a minute on her. Let me just set this down and see if I can zoom in with the coin still. So looking at the head, do we see separation between the hair, the bonnet, and the forehead? No. Forgive the graininess here. This is not 4K, obviously. But I think it's pretty darn close. But in terms of contact marks, there's contact marks in the field and on those primary high areas. And on the reverse, I see virtually no contact marks in the breast of this bird. Let me zoom back out here. But I think with MS64, we are a little closer here. But let's just say, what is MS65? MS65 is an uncirculated coin with no trace of wear. Of course, we have that. It is a nearly perfect coin except for a few small blemishes or minute nicks or contact marks. These go beyond minute. In my opinion, these go beyond minute. I am going to say that it does not qualify as an MS65. So I think we've reached the ceiling at an MS64. And it says for an MS63, the overall appearance is attractive. I'm gonna grade this conservatively because I think it's better than acceptable. Is it pleasing? I think that's in the eye of the beholder. I think based on the contact marks in the high areas, the lack of facial definition, we do have the V in the hand. I think that it does have attractive appearance. I think we can grade this gift from Fish, we can conservatively grade this an MS 63. Well, now that we've established a grade, let's establish a value. Here's my 2022 Red Book. The 2023 is out, by the way. So this coin, I had the page marked here. We are going to look at the Walking Liberty $50 here. And we can see that a 1947 is right here in a MS63. We come down here to MS63 that is a $60 coin. $60 in an MS63. So let's just look at sold comps on eBay. We see in the old Rattler there, the OGH. Actually, that's not a Rattler, that's an OGH. $79.99, $89.99 from PCGS. ICG, it was a $59 coin. NGC is a $68 coin. And yeah, so all of these confirm that, well, here's one that went for $100. It's not even cacked. So you can see that that is fairly close to being in alignment with where the Red Book is at. So what do you think, guys? How'd I do? Do you agree with my grade, MS63? Leave comments below. Tell me what grade you think it is, and hit the like button if you haven't already. I appreciate you watching. Fish, thank you for the coin. I have some mail to show you from Fish. That's in an upcoming video, so please subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.